Hi, my name is Ben, and today we are talking about the Best Actress race for the Oscars 2025 ceremony. There are 18 names that I want to talk about today. Instead of doing the typical 1 to 18 and having different categories, I decided let's do a tier list. They're quite popular right now. I thought it'd be a fun way to talk about it, and it would also take it out of order because sometimes we know what the top of the heap looks like. So I am about to share my screen right now, and we have a multitude of categories right now. We have the locks, the contenders, the spoilers, Oscar bait / career award, Indie Spirit Awards, Golden Globe, and wishful thinking. So we're going to be diving into this, and we're going to be breaking down these 18 names and putting them in that proper category. With that all said, let's just kind of get into it so we can see who we have at the bottom of this. And let me just minimize my screen properly so I can still see myself. This is random order, so let's get into this. The first name on this list is Lily Rose Depp for the film NOSFERATU, directed by Robert Eggers, a film that I am quite looking forward to. It will be coming out around Christmas time, and early screenings of this movie have started to come out. I've heard positive things, and the thing that actually made me add Lily Rose Depp to this list is people are pointing out her specifically in their early reactions. I don't know if Robert Eggers is going to be able to break through. I just think it may be a bit too hard for a horror film of this magnitude. Robert Eggers is a very specific director. Look at what he did with The Lighthouse. Look at what he did with The Northman. I think this film certainly has a bigger budget to it. It may be a little bit more friendly. I just don't know if a horror genre is going to get in within this category. So I think, in fairness, I think Lily Rose Depp right now is wishful thinking. With that said, I wouldn't be shocked to see if NOSFERATU really overperforms and you have a few more films. Maybe Gladiator 2 just really tanks. Maybe despite the positive reactions that we're hearing about Wicked 2, which we'll get into a little bit later in this video, maybe some of those performances don't work or people aren't as high as it. Maybe A Complete Unknown completely falls off the roof. There's so many aspects that could really change in the next month that I think there may be a path forward if NOSFERATU really just takes over at the end of December. It's too early to say, and that's why it's not on this list. Let's talk about maybe the person who has been memed the most this year with her Oscar possible nomination, the one that people are already kind of memeing on. It is Amy Adams for the film Night Bitch. This is a film that I cannot say I have much excitement towards seeing. I will be seeing this film early in December and having a review for that, which, by the way, if you're liking this video, make sure to subscribe. It really does help me out and helps me grow and helps me get to see these films early for reviews. But this is a film that talks a lot about essentially the role of women, modern day feminism. There's a lot of ideas in this movie. This trailer I found obnoxious. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hang with this movie. We will see. I think Amy Adams is in a peculiar place right now as an actress because obviously she's never won. She's been nominated a few times. I just don't know if they are going to give this film, Night Bitch, with a title like Night Bitch, the award. I just don't know if it's going to be this. However, I do think there could be a narrative drive of Amy Adams has never won, so maybe we should reward her with an Oscar nomination. At this moment, I kind of feel like that is the leaning of where it would be largely for the career and the career ignored by the Academy. So I am putting her in Oscar bait / career award. Let's talk about the next one, which is Zendaya from the film Challengers, which is Luca Guadagnino's film that came out April of 2024. This is one of 2 films that he released this year. He has Queer coming out a few weeks from A24, starring Daniel Craig. This one is an interesting film because I know the Zendaya performance was really critically acclaim upon release. I struggled with aspects of this movie, and specifically I thought Zendaya made a really good movie star, and she really made her case within the film Challengers. As an actress, I kind of still felt that she had a lot to be left desired. I'm not fully bought into how great of an actress she is. I think she's a really good movie star and a really good presence, and Challengers certainly uses her appeal and her presence to the utmost in it. I just don't know. I don't see this film breaking out in any meaningful way. So if Challengers had maybe released November or December and Queer was the film that had released in April, I could see a world where Zendaya gets that push. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think this film may be a bit long gone. It didn't perform incredibly well at the box office, and I know audiences were more mixed on it than critics. And again, the Academy Awards is not voted on by critics and it's not voted on by audiences. I typically tend to believe that if a film receives universal praise from audience, it means a little bit more than a film receiving critical praise from critics. So if that, I am going to say Zendaya probably will get nominations this year, but it's going to be more in the Golden Globes. They're going to want the celebrity of Zendaya there. Let's talk about this next performance, which I don't actually know much about this performance, slash if it even belongs in this Best Actress conversation. It is Julianne Moore for the film The Room Next Door. This is Almodovar's new film starring Tilda Swinton. Tilda Swinton is clearly seen to be the lead of this film from everything that I've heard. However, I've heard some people suggest that Julianne Moore is very much the co-lead, and she may not be in the Best Supporting Actress. She may be in the Best Actress. I don't know if that's category fraud. I don't know how to make of it. I haven't seen this movie yet. All I know is that there is a potential that she is in this race, and I don't know what to do with Julianne Moore in this race. I think, in fairness, what I'm going to do is Julianne Moore is certainly an actress that the Academy likes. They have a relationship with her. They've given her awards. They've given her multiple nominations. I am going to put her in this career award category along with Amy Adams, just because I don't really know what to do with it at this moment. Let's talk about this performance that I'm really excited to get into right now. It is the performance given by Demi Moore in Coraline Farge's film The Substance, where Demi Moore plays this aging star past her prime, and she gets this medication that basically allows there to be a kind of younger version of herself, and that person becomes famous. And then there's this whole thing of beauty standards in Hollywood within the industry, and it's a crazy film from Coraline, and it is such a committed performance from Demi Moore. She really sells this movie. She's excellent in this movie. This is probably one of my favorite performances of the year, in one of my favorite films of the year. I want to see Demi Moore get the nomination, and that's why I'm like a little hesitant of, am I going too high with her? What should I do? Because this is a body horror film that is ugly. This film has a lot of ugliness in it. It is very disgusting in scenes, so I just don't know if the Academy is going to embrace it. However, I think there is a star-churning performance that Demi Moore gives. Think something of the career comeback. She hasn't been working that much in the past decade or two, that I could kind of see more riding that wave, same way that of Brendan Fraser did for The Whale. This has that career comeback narrative that you see, whether it's Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler. So I'm kind of buying into this movie. So I have it in one of these top three categories: the locks, the contenders, the spoilers. I don't necessarily think this movie is by any means a lock. However, I think it is a contender, and I think it could be a spoiler. It could come as a surprise. The spoiler is essentially the person who comes in that kind of shocks the world. I don't know if Demi Moore is a shock anymore, especially with how shallow this Best Actress race is. I don't think there's any clear-cut contenders. So I am going to give Demi Moore. I think she is a legitimate contender at this point. I legitimately do. So I am giving her that benefit right now. Let's talk about this next performance, because this is a performance, this is a film that everyone's starting to anticipate. People were memeing on the belief that Wicked could receive Best above the line Oscar nominations, whether it's for Best Supporting Actress with Ariana Grande, which, by the way, I think that may happen, whether it's a Best Picture, whether it's any of these categories. Cynthia Erivo is the name we need to talk about because she plays the Wicked Witch of the West in this movie. She is the star character. She gets the big song in this movie. She gets Defying Gravity. She gets the role defined by Idina Menzel in the early 2000s. And by all accounts, this movie's really good. I will be seeing this movie Monday. I guess that'd be the 18th, I believe, and I'll be having a review for that film out that following Thursday. So again, subscribe to this channel if you want to hear my Wicked thoughts, and I'll have a Gladiator review the next day. But this is a film that I legitimately think is only gaining momentum, and the weird thing about it that I wasn't positive that was going to happen, critics seem to be largely in favor of this movie, and I think this film is going to be a huge success with audiences. There is so much merchandise, there is so much demand for these tickets. Like, I am seeing theaters sell out for it. I think Wicked could become kind of something of a sensation, and it kind of fills that role that I think a film like Barbie filled last year. So I don't necessarily know if I think Cynthia Erivo is going to get it in this category for right now. However, I do feel safe that she could be one of these names that is truly, a spoiler. So I have Erivo here in the spoilers, my first name in it. Let's talk about this next performance given by one of our most famous of famous actresses. It is Angelina Jolie in the Netflix film Maria that will be coming out end of November. I'll have a review sometime around then. Haven't seen this movie yet. It premiered at Cannes. It had premieres at Telluride. It's really doing the festival circuit. This comes from the same director who had got nominations for his leading ladies in Natalie Portman for the film Jackie and Kristen Stewart for the film Spencer, who, by the way, Spencer, that film, that performance from Stewart, best performance from an actress that I saw that year. She should have won Best Actress, especially when her competition was The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Stewart is brilliant in this film. Whatever you want to say about the quality of films like Jackie or Spencer, there is a way that this director is able to put the spotlight towards his lead performers. And I have a belief that given the backing of Netflix, given the popularity of Angelina Jolie, I think this film could get some nominations. I really do. And I kind of think this might be the case of, like Jackie and like Spencer, neither of those actresses won, but they became nominations. And I know some people were a little shaky on the Stewart one. They thought she might miss that year. I think Jolie has it, and this film is, from my understanding, a little bit more divisive than either of those two films were. The reception has been more mixed. I think the helpful thing is Netflix will campaign for Jolie, and it seems that Jolie is the strong part of a movie that people aren't as sure on. I think the issue that especially happened with a film like Spencer is some people were really out on the Kristen Stewart performance. I don't get it. I think that performance is brilliant. But with that said, she's my first lock of this category. So let's move her here in the lock. So we've given, just as a recap, Angelina Jolie as a lock, contender, Demi Moore, and then the spoiler, Cynthia Erivo, and then everyone else a little bit lower. So we'll get back into those. Let's talk about a trailer that had just come out. This is directed by Gia Coppola of the Coppola family. This is Pamela Anderson in a film called The Last Showgirl. It takes place in Vegas. The trailer looks really good. Some beautiful cinematography throughout. There was a little bit of noise earlier, maybe let's say September before this film premiered, that this could actually maybe earn Pamela Anderson an Oscar nomination. She is apparently supposedly really good in The Last Showgirl, but this film is very much a mixed bag, also co-starring Jamie Lee Curtis and Dave Bautista. The trailer looks good. This is kind of the tried and true Indie Spirit Award, where I could kind of see a film like this going nominated in a category like this. I think of Adam Sandler and Uncut Gems, where sometimes the Indie Spirit Awards likes to have fun, and they're very aware, and this seems like a performance that they could reward, especially someone who is not particularly known for their quality of acting. They are more known for the starriness of being a famous actress. Let's talk about this next performance. This is the biggest of biggest locks right now. It is Mikey Madison for the film Anora. This is a film that I got to see a few weeks ago, and I have a review on my channel now, which you can check it out. I really liked Anora, and for the first 45 minutes, I didn't really see the hype in this movie. I wasn't as sure as everyone else was feeling about Anora. And then the movie really shifts and it becomes something far different. It becomes a lot more comedic, and Mikey Madison takes over this movie in a very special way. She is just brazen. She is so funny in this movie. It's a really endearing performance, and you are just rooting for this character as the madness ensues. I just think Mikey Madison is a star in the making in this movie, and this is her lock. And at this moment, I'm calling it. I think she is probably the front runner to win this award. Until we see something else, I don't think anyone's competing with Anora right now. Mikey Madison does incredible work. She is the easiest of easiest locks right now. So let's talk about the next performance here. Oh, The OUTRUN starring Saoirse Ronan. I wrote it down. I had the pronunciation. I hope I did it right this time because people got mad at me when I did my review of The OUTRUN. Ronan's having a tough year for me. I like her as an actress. I think she's best utilized with a director in Greta Gerwig, in a director like Wes Anderson. The OUTRUN I thought was abysmal. I thought this film was such cliched Oscar bait. If she gets in, this is a career nomination. I don't care what anyone else says. Take this performance versus what she does in Lady Bird, and it's just night and day. Lady Bird is such a better performance, a far more interesting performance. Same with a film like Little Woman. I don't understand The OUTRUN. I think it is a very standard film. You've seen it 100 times. It has all these ideas of an alcoholic and like the struggles, and she portrays alcoholism, and I don't know. I just didn't get into this movie. I thought it was incredibly slow. However, there is a push for her. To be honest, I also kind of thought the same thing about Blitz, where I just didn't get the praise for Ronan's performance. With that said, I think you just have to get it, because some people are even predicting she'll get in the top 5. This is almost a bet against how much I dislike this film. I'm giving it the highest of Oscar bait / career award, because I think that truly is. If Ronan got in for Best Actress for this film and bumped out someone like Demi Moore for The Substance, I'd be legitimately furious. I think that's insane. Like, I just don't get it. Like, this is the thing of, this movie will be forgotten it's already forgotten. And if it gets an Oscar nomination, it will be forgotten the day after the Oscar ceremony. This is not a film that people are going to go back to. I promise you that. Let's talk about this next one, which is a performance from June Squibb. This is called THEMLA. I believe Squibb is a 93-year-old actress. This is a feel-good movie. This is a funny movie. This has certainly gotten a lot of buzz, and it's really a nice career capper for June Squibb. Ultimately, this kind of feels, again, in this Indie Spirit Award, maybe a Golden Globe for comedy. I think the Indie Spirit Award is where you want to be more, so I am going to get her, and I'll actually put her above Pamela Anderson in this case. I think June Squibb may be safe for an Indie Spirit Award. I don't see her breaking into the Oscars. I think this film's just too small and too underseen to really get there. Oh, let's talk about maybe one of the most controversial films of this award season thus far. I got to see this film when I'm recording it. It's Thursday, November 14th. I got to see this film yesterday, November 13th, on its Netflix premiere. It is EMILIA PEREZ, and it is the titular EMILIA PEREZ, played by Karla Sofia Gascon. This would be the first transgender performance nominated for an Oscar, and Karla is really good. No matter the criticisms that you may have for EMILIA PEREZ, and I was a bit mixed, as you can see in my review on this film, although I was definitely more positive than some of my other peers and some of the other pundits out there, there's certainly a lot that the film leaves wanting. And Karla Sofia Gascon, despite some of the issues people have with this film, I think this film is standing head and shoulders above some of the other elements of this film, and she's really adding a dignity that if this performance wasn't in the film, I just don't know if this film would actually have this level of success. I think she's really good in it. I think the Oscars want to make history in this, and I think it is safe to say that Karla Sofia Gascon is one of my locks. So that gives us 3 locks, and now there's only 2 more spots, and I have as a real contender Demi Moore, and the spoiler, Cynthia Erivo. Let's talk about this next performance given by Marianne Jean-Baptiste for Hard Truths. I'm starting to hear a little bit more buzz about this film, Hard Truth, which admittedly I still don't particularly know what it is. I know it's coming out early December. I'll get a chance to see it here. I'm even hearing some buzz that this film could get into the Best Picture race. I believe it would be kind of serving a similar role that a film last year, like American Fiction did, where it comes out December, gets a push. It's competing with Nickel Boys, which I think is actually doing that campaign and then seemingly maybe a little bit more. I've just heard so much praise about the Baptiste performance. I really don't know what to do with it, and so I'm kind of leaning towards, again, this is kind of a film that I think is going a little underseen, and it has too little radar to feel comfortable with. So I am giving this the highest of the Indie Spirit Awards. Maybe it should go in something like the spoilers. I'm not sure. I just need to see a little bit more buzz about it because I don't feel like I'm seeing the buzz for Hard Truth right now. Next performance, this is also one that I don't know much about. However, I know that the international branch can really come out in favor of an actress, and this is Fernanda Torres for a film called I'm Still Here. This follows the wife and the 5 children of a congressman from Brazilian Labor Party who is kidnapped, and essentially life after that. Fernanda Torres plays the wife character. Don't know much about this. All I know is that one of the most powerful units within the Academy Awards branch is the international film, and I kind of could see a performance like Fernanda Torres, someone who's well respected, getting into it and kind of serving a similar role for an international actress. I'm going to put her in the spoilers category right now. Next, let's get to this other film, Tilda Swinton, The Room Next Door. I fully admit it, I am not the biggest Tilda Swinton fan myself. I don't know. Her as a performer hasn't always worked for me. Almodovar, with this being his first English language film, or a film that's completely in English, I've heard there's a bit of a lost in translation, and I think Tilda Swinton can already be a bit of a sometimes get lost in translation due to her oddity as an actress. I don't know. I'm just not feeling The Room Next Door buzz. Everything that I keep hearing about it, I heard Sean Fennessy talk about it on The Big Picture. I've heard a few other critics suggest this, which is this film kind of gets lost in translation. The performances don't always come together. And so, I don't know. I'm not really feeling the Tilda Swinton buzz. Maybe it's because I'm not the biggest fan. I'm still going to put her in contender for now. That leaves us 3 movies, and I want to talk about this one because this is also a category of wishful thinking. This is a film that I saw a few weeks ago, and this is the case of this actress should get in, but for some reason she's just not in the conversation. Maybe it's because this movie doesn't always fully work, but Florence Pugh is a great actress. She continues to be a great actress, and We Live in Time really showcases how good she is, especially in a role that I believed she was too young to play. I still think she does wonders, especially with the chemistry of Andrew Garfield, and really hits the emotional resonance that this movie is going to do. Not much to say about it. It's wishful thinking, but I just wanted to shout out a performance that I thought was really good. I forgot to include it here, but also as wishful thinking, I would have Kirsten Dunst for Civil War in wishful thinking, because I think that is a wonderful film and a wonderful performance that I wish was getting more recognized. Hey, you want to talk about Oscar bait / career wins? You can't have that conversation without Kate Winslet for the film Lee, where she plays a war correspondent journalist. You know, to be honest, I had the option to see this film a few weeks ago, and I didn't. I don't know why. I didn't go out to see this film. It didn't really have an interest to me. To be honest, I am kind of in the belief of, unless I hear more about Lee and start seeing it actually get award nominations, or people are really like, you know what, this might be the 5th slot for the Academy Awards, maybe then I'll go check it out. If not, I know what the film is. I kind of know how the movie's going to play out. Kate Winslet does one of these movies a year. I kind of find it boring. It's kind of the same thing with the OUTRUN, where I'm like, I get it. It's Kate Winslet, though, so you can't fully ignore it. I'm going to put her right above Julianne Moore, but right under Amy Adams. And then that leaves us with one performance from an A24 film that will be coming out early December. It is a beloved Academy Award-winning actress, one of our most beloved actresses. It is Nicole Kidman in a film called Baby Girl that follows a not-so-safe for work relationship of dominance. This movie is an erotic thriller, as I've heard it described, and I've heard Nicole Kidman is game for this. What is there to say about Nicole Kidman besides she's one of the best actresses? She's a beautiful actress. She has so much talent, and this role seems to be fitting her completely, and it seems to be a very brazen, a very brave, a very audacious performance from her, where she is really going for it. She's showing the commitment. I kind of think this film could kind of go rewarded with that. So this is where we have it right now. We have the locks as Mikey Madison, Angelina Jolie, Karla Sofia Gascon, and then I have these contenders of Demi Moore, Tilda Swinton, and I have the spoilers of Cynthia Erivo and Fernanda Torres, and it leaves me with Baby Girl. So do I think this is going to round out my top 5? Or do I think this film is going to be somewhere else? And here's what I am thinking. I currently have, in my own personal ranking, I have Nicole Kidman as my number 5. Could be number 4 too. I'm kind of confused on what to do with Demi Moore. I think the performance is so good. I just don't know if the Oscars are going to go after it. But I am going to give her the benefit of the doubt just because I'm not feeling the room next door strength. Which means my 5 slots as they currently exist are Anora, Mikey Madison, Maria, Angelina Jolie, EMILIA PEREZ, Karla Sofia Gascon, Demi Moore, The Substance, Baby Girl, Nicole Kidman, and then outside looking in, 6, 7, and 8, I have Tilda Swinton, The Room Next Door. When this film finally premieres, maybe it gets the bump and it takes that number 4 or 5 slot. Then I have Cynthia Erivo and Fernanda Torres as the spoilers. And for my own hope, I just don't want to see Saoirse Ronan in this year's contention. But with that said, let's come back to me. Let's have this solo layout. Thank you all for those who watched this video. I do apologize. For some reason, StreamYards is weird. It wouldn't let me use my real microphone, so I have to use my AirPods. So I do apologize. If you watch my videos, you know that my quality of sound is typically much, much superior to this. I hope it wasn't too bad, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you like this video, please let me know, because I might want to do it. I actually really had a good time recording this video. I had a lot more to say. I really like this format, so I hope you guys did too. With that said, thank you all for watching, and I hope you subscribe for more Oscar reviews and content coming to your YouTube channel soon. Thank you all for watching, and as a brief shout out, Tuesday I'm talking about Gladiator 2 popcorn buckets because sick. Thursday, I am talking about, which movie am I talking about Thursday? Oh, Wicked. Friday, I will be talking about Gladiator 2. And then in the weekend, I will be doing some Wicked popcorn bucket reviews. So look out for that. Make sure to subscribe. Thank you all for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.